Herman Dooyeweerd. And so in this video, I just want to show how Dooyeweerd helps us understand what Peterson is doing and what might be the blind spots in what Peterson is doing as well. The stone in my shoe as I read through We Who Wrestle with God was that it didn't feel like one unfolding story. So he was going through the Bible's narrative, but it felt like a lot of individual vignettes, each one telling the same story about how we grow to human maturity. And for a while I was wrestling with, why is this not cohering into one grand narrative? What's going on here? And I think it's this. I think it's that Peterson fundamentally sees the world, at least in this book, in terms of primary structuring dichotomies. And the most important of these dichotomies is that between order and chaos. He says at one point, quote, the eternal interplay of opposites is that from which the world emerges. This is the fundamental driving force behind our reality, is these opposites of order and chaos. The world, he says at one point, cannot survive if it's ruled by sex and power because it degenerates into chaos. So again, it's the order-chaos binary that's making sense of life for us. And really interestingly, he understands the paradise of the Garden of Eden in terms of a perfect balance between order and chaos. And he understands the human brain as the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere balancing the known and the unknown, again in terms of order and chaos. So this is fundamental for Peterson. The whole world runs on this structure of order and chaos. He also has other dichotomies. There's a really interesting dichotomy he has between the margin and the center, which I think is, again, incredibly insightful, really helpful. That change comes from the margins, but you need the consolidation of the center as well. And then he talks about this idea of the zone of proximal development, that where creativity happens, where progress happens, is where we live on the border of the known and the unknown, the margins and the center. That's where innovation can take place. And the penny that dropped for me as I was reading this is that this fits really, really closely with what Herman Dooyeweerd, this theologian, calls the ground motive of form and matter.